Your Steve Jones Show podcast is loading now. The Steve Jones Show podcast is sponsored by Purdy Insurance. Visit Purdy Insurance on Market Street in Sunbury or visit online at purdyinsurance.com. Sports talk where your voice counts. This is the Steve Jones Show on News Radio 1070 WKOK. Now from the Sunbury Motors Studio, here's Steve Jones.
Today's show brought to you by Purdy Insurance, Market Street in Sunbury. Go to purdyinsurance.com. Auto, home, life, business, RV, boat, motorcycle insurance. Bundles to save you money. Or if you're Aaron Judge, booing insurance. No? When you play in front of a brutal fan base that appreciates nothing. Time now for our play-by-play call day. Now, this is how a fan base should react.
Here's the 1-1 swing and a fly ball center field. Back into his right is Harris towards the angled wall to the track. At the wall, reaches out. It comes off the wall. It rolls away. JT flying around second. He's heading for third. Dusty Watson is going to wave him home. Here's the relay to the plate. There'll be no throw. JT slides. It's an inside the park home run.
Listen to how happy those people are. It is wonderful to hear fans sound the sound of joy. Today's starting lineup. Boo. Now pitching. Boo. Now, I realize you probably had to take the subway over to get to the Bronx. I got it. So that probably brought with it a little bit of drama.
That is true. Or even driving there brings drama.
Oh, my goodness.
And I just saw the forecast for the Bronx. It's not looking good between 7 and 9. So this is going to be very, very interesting tonight. You know, now all kidding aside on everything. So get serious here for a moment on the game. Tyone's going to start. Aaron Savali, who grew up in East Windsor, Connecticut, which borders Enfield, where Kevo and I grew up. He's going to start tonight. But how about the former State College Spike, Harrison Bader? Oh, he's been fun. He has been tremendous.
Well, first of all, he's a fun guy. I mean, I loved being around him. I really did.
He definitely seems like it.
Oh, he's a fun guy. You just come out of the University of Florida, College World Series, the whole thing. Now, the Phillies. Let's get to the Phillies for a moment. Of all the teams they're going to play, okay? And the Phillies have been, Realmuto's been great. I mean, he blunts running games, the bat. The Hoskins home run was just incredible theater. The pitching has been great. Wheeler, Nola has been big down the stretch, hasn't he? I mean, just big. And the irony is this. Guess who's part owner of the Padres? One of my best friends.
Oh, really?
Yes.
How about that? Oh, man. So you're happy either way.
Well, I mean, I'd be happy for all the Philly fans. There's no getting around it. But I sort of feel like no offense, because for those who have ever been to Rec Hall and you've seen the broadcast complex that's, quote, has my name on it, Rick's the one that donated the money for it. Rick and Sue Berry. He's one of the minority owners of the Padres. I'm thinking to myself, if it were the Dodgers, this would be easy. Now let's get to the slice of ridiculous. There have been some columns today about these should not be best of fives. It doesn't give you the true winner. What, because the Mets, Braves, and Dodgers have lost? That's the way it goes. Tough.
Exactly. I hate that.
That's the way it goes. In 1987, the Minnesota Twins won the World Series. Okay? The Twins, because of the way it was set up, did not win a single road game. All their wins were at home. And even though and it was back when you alternated, had nothing to do with who had the best record. So you alternated who was hosting. It turned out it was the year that the American League West and the American League were the hosts in the American League Championship Series and the World Series. They won nothing but home games and won the World Series. And I remember people, when I was doing this show back in the 80s, complaining about, this isn't right, this isn't fair. I said, hey, whoa. What'd they do wrong? The rules stated that if you have a better record than the other 5 teams, because it was 6-team divisions back then, the other 5 teams, they let you go to the playoff. And if you got more wins, I think it was best of 5 then, in 87, I want to say. I don't think they went to 7 until 95, I thought. I said, the first team to win 3 games, they let you go to the World Series. And if you're the first team to win 4 games, they give you a trophy. I said, what rule did they break? It turns out they won. Ken Herbeck played great. Puckett played great, and it's like they won. Frank Viola was great on the mound. They won. Okay. Well, guess what? The Phillies sat there and had to go to St. Louis and play a 3-game series there. They won 2 games, swept them. We're done. Okay, the rules state the first one to win 2 moves. Phillies got the Braves. First team to win 3 games. Took 4, but the Phillies were the first to win 3 games. They get to go to this series. What rules are they breaking? I don't care if the Dodgers won 111 games. They didn't beat the Padres. They lost. Not only that, they had a bye. They had their pitching all set up the way they wanted. Phillies played the Braves. Braves had the pitching set up exactly the way they wanted. Phillies still beat them. Went with their number 3 starter in the opening game. Still beat them. Phillies, it's like the NCAA tournament. St. Peter's beat Purdue. Well, yeah, good. St. Peter's beat Purdue. All right, guess what? That's part of the glory of the tournament. Same thing with this. Upsets are good. Now, would you get a bigger rating if the Yankees were playing the Dodgers for the World Series? Sure. But it's good for the game. I think it's wonderful. What the Phillies are doing is great. The fan base, you can feel the electricity through the screen, just like you can feel the booing in Yankee Stadium through the screen. Oh, my almighty! You can feel it. It's great. Postseason baseball, fun. Then the Eagles game last night, coming through the screen. Oh, yeah. Give the Cowboys credit. They made it somewhat interesting, and they kind of got some things going in the second half. First half, the Eagles were, near perfect, I felt, watching the game. Beautiful half of football. Third quarter, okay, that happens. You're not going to be perfect every quarter. But they win. They got a bye. Are they the best team in the NFC? Man, they're the best team in the NFC by a margin right now, the Eagles. And not only that, it's the multitude of ways in which they can beat you. They can beat you on the outside with Smith and Brown. They can beat you on the inside with Sanders. They can beat you with the tight end Goddard. They can beat you with the offensive line. They can beat you with Miles Sanders. Jalen Hurts that can beat you with his arm or with his feet. They can beat you with defense. They got 3 picks last night. They can beat you with the pass rush. Those are all the ways the Eagles can beat you right now. And it's going to take a great team to beat them, or a day where the Eagles have an off day, which in a 17-game regular season is going to happen. It's going to happen. You're not going to have your best day, right? Because you're talking 17 weeks. That's hard. You're only a third of the way through the season right now. But that's how good they are. And yeah, the Bills are 5-1. They lost that game down at Miami.
Correct.
I think Buffalo's still the better all-around team, and a big part of that is Allen. Allen is so good. Man, watching him play. And watching Mahomes play, that was a great game yesterday. That was a great game to watch.
This was one of the greatest sports weekends I have witnessed in a long time.
Right, including the booing on Friday. I thought that was fun. I sat back, shook my head, and go, "Wow." Yeah, they sell beer at those games, right? All right. The whiteout is on Saturday. Whiteout is Saturday. And I'm just an announcer, okay? But just obvious, but I'm also Penn State's announcer. After a game like Saturday, quote, you need your fans more than ever. You can tell the Yankee people to stay home. They've got a little tood. Okay. We expect more. Okay. You had to go to arbitration. All right. Your $36 million pitcher finally pitched a good game for you.
Yes.
All right. And he was good. I mean, he was really good. All right. There was an article in The Athletic where he was talking about that it's the hardest job in the world to be the ace in New York. Sure, it's really difficult on direct deposit day at the end of the month. It's the hardest job in the world. No, the hardest job in the world is probably running a jackhammer in New York, hoping you've got enough to make the rent or the mortgage that month. Oh, and by the way, how are we doing at the grocery store? That's a harder job. No offense. Don't you think?
100%.
The hardest job going. Now, as a pitcher, yeah, that's a hard job. In the sport of baseball, that's a hard job. Being the ace in New York, expectations, going against a division that has the talent it has. Toronto's really talented. Tampa Bay grinds. Baltimore's gotten better. The Red Sox have been really good, then this year slid back, obviously. So that's a tough thing when you've got to play 72 of your 162 games against that division. Did I get that right? It's got to be more than that. 76, right? 76 of your 162 games against that division. That's not easy. 19 times 4. I'm doing it off the top of my head. Tell me if I'm right. 76, right?
Yeah, that's right.
I feel so much better now. But yeah, you've got the whiteout game coming up on Saturday. Believe it or not, guess which part of the uniform that the players are excited about? Wearing the white shoes. I'm not kidding you.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I think everybody will show up.
That's
ready
right. You're
to go.
Going, aren't you?
I will be there. I'm looking forward to it. This is my first whiteout. I'll be in the press box above you with our fellow Penn State beat writers. I'll get to see everybody in person once again. I haven't seen anybody since the blue-white game, so yeah,
good.
I'm pumped for Saturday night.
Have a good time with it. But you know what? It's right. You're coming off a game like this. It was obviously, look, there's nothing I can sit there and tell you. I mean, you guys all watched the game. I mean, I don't care what area of the team you're talking about. It didn't go well. Okay. Right? It was the last scenario I expected to see. All right. Well, now how do you bounce back from it? Guess what? That wasn't the last game of the season. How do you bounce back from it? And there's going to be a ton of recruits there. You got a whiteout game. The weather looks like it's going to be great. Right? You're going to play a team that's tough. Has a great running back. Not a good running back. He's a great college running back. Mo Ibrahim, Baltimore tough kid, no doubt. And and we'll see how it plays out. But here, one other quick note. Say it's not Tanner Morgan. Brian's on the line. Say it's not Tanner Morgan. Say it's Ethan Kalikmanis or Cole Kramer. Okay? They've never been in this before. They've never had to deal with the noise of 110,000 before. They dealt with 40,000 on Saturday, 40,000 in Illinois, 40,000, and they still jumped twice in the offensive line. Okay? They've never had to deal with this as quarterbacks before. Morgan has, but Kalikmanis and Kramer never have. Remember that. Brian in Virginia. Hello, Brian. How are you today?
I'm doing great, Steve. How are you?
Doing great. Thanks so much for calling, and hope everything's going well.
Oh, going very well. Just really disappointed and heartbroken over the game on Saturday, as I know we all are. But I listened to you and Jack, and you did an excellent job as always. I was just calling to see if you can give perspective on a couple things.
Sure.
If you think it's however it's appropriate to respond. But so these are just a couple questions I've just been kind of I've been thinking about a lot since last Saturday. But the first one is, I guess, how would you assessing the team's toughness? It just seems like at some point I was just hoping that the defense, I know they were tired, they're out there a long time, but would step up and just do something, try to fight back, at least let Michigan know, they were in a hard-hitting game, maybe not get pushed around so much. It just never really materialized. What is it going to take for the Lions to play with more of a nasty streak on both sides of the ball, but particularly the Lions? The second question is about the Lions, and particularly the offensive line. I called and spoke to you, several months ago, I think February or March, but it gets back to offensive line development. It's just so frustrating that our offensive line can't get a real push, or we can't even create some creases for both Katron or Nick Singleton. It's frustrating because you see teams like Illinois or Iowa or other teams with lesser talent. If you look at the star ratings for this, the recruiting services, it's, Coach Bielma goes in there. He's putting together a good line in the last couple of years with leftovers from somebody else. Or Iowa, it seems like they get a lot of 2- or 3-star guys, and they have decent lines. But it just seems like that's one area under Coach Franklin we just continually struggle to develop. And then the last question you might be able to answer is because you were there at the game practices. But it just seems like with 2 weeks to go for the game, Coach Franklin said that he was changing up his bye week and prep and all this, which is great because of what Mr. Wogenrich and others have indicated, and they're reporting about record after the bye week and whatnot. It's like that game plan was, I don't think was very creative or imaginative on offense, but on defense, we all knew they're going to run with Corum and the other running backs, and we didn't continually load the box or, because I would have made Michigan's quarterback try to pass continually to beat us because I wasn't very impressed with him as a passer. He made a couple okay throws, but I think if we would have maybe changed our strategy, not saying we would have won, but we may not have gotten, embarrassed on national TV. And I love Penn State. I'll be there Saturday. I'm an alum, I'm a Lion Club member. I'm just heartbroken. I'm just hoping you might be able to give some perspective, sir. That's all.
Well, okay. So we'll start with this. Of course, I have no power over anything. So.
No, I understand. But you're probably one of the best people that.
Thanks. I appreciate it. So let's start with up front. Obviously, up front, Michigan did a great job in the game. There's just no getting around it. So what's been the strength of Penn State's defense, Brian, through the first 5 games? And I think we can the secondary.
No doubt.
And then you get into a game like this where if you can win up front, you can now use your secondary to your advantage. Penn State never got a chance to do that because of how Michigan kept playing on first down, which is to their credit. Daquan Hardy, who's in a sub package, whether it's nickel or dime, only played 6 plays in the game. what does that tell you? Penn State didn't go to it. They didn't go to their sub packages. So you do have to win up front, which means it really just comes down to winning your individual matchup. And I thought Michigan did a great job on their short side of the field sweeps. I mean, their short side, they did a great job, and they also did a great job with the cutback. And Penn State has got to do a better job on that. There's no question about it. And they have one of those days where I'll tell you the part where I was like, okay, let's see if they'll adjust. I'll tell you the part of the game. It was the beginning of the second half. 20-minute halftime. Opening drive, Penn State's got the ball, so the defense is now sitting for the 20 plus the drive. Okay? And Penn State scores and takes the lead. Great. So now, I said on the broadcast, look, I said, now this is the time you need that 3 and out. And they won first down, they won second down, and they finally get to put their sub package out there. And guess what they did? They covered everybody. They converted, but they covered everybody. How did they convert?
Yep.
He took off and ran, and he got to the stick and got a first down. And then the next play, Edwards went 67. Like, brutal. Then you drive. Then you get the penalty. It's your fault. You know, Warren came over. He was over the line of scrimmage, and Singleton caught the ball beyond the line of scrimmage, so it becomes a pick play. So you lose that one, and you would have had it first down at the 28 of Michigan. Boom, get pushed back, can't make the first down. 61 at a touchdown for Corum. It's like, oh, man. That's 128 yards in 2 plays. Developing toughness up front. Fashanu played, believe it or not, Fashanu played a terrific game. I mean, I would like,
a couple of our linemen individually did, I agree.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
No doubt.
But you got to get them all playing that way all at once. All right, you can't just have one guy. It's got to be 5 plus the tight ends. Everybody. All right, and they've got to get that. At times they've had that. They've got to develop some consistency there. And it wouldn't bother me maybe being a little left-handed with Fashanu on that left side. And the last part was... trying to remember what you left.
The game planning, being more creative on offense, why we didn't load the box up more consistently.
Brian, they actually, and again, that goes back to what I was talking about creativity. On offense, they never got a chance to use the stuff they wanted to use. All right, and that's, I mean, there was stuff that they wanted to use in that game, they never got a chance to, in part because they didn't have the ball that often. I mean, so it's not as if there weren't things I watched in practice all week that were very interesting, because there were some things that were very interesting. But when the one guy has the ball 24 and you have the ball 6,
right,
your opportunity to do interesting goes out the door.
Well, let's hope we improve this week and really take out some aggression against Minnesota and get a win and right the ship.
I hope you stop by the pregame show, Brian. Would love to see you.
Yes, sir. Take care.
Thank you. Dave Cicchini, Reuben Frank, next half hour. News Radio 1070 WKOK, brought to you by Purdy Insurance.
The weather is getting cooler and the leaves are changing in Central PA. Hi, this is Susan from Purdy Insurance. If your current agent is falling short, it's time to give Purdy Insurance a call. We're a local, family-owned independent agency ready to find the right insurance to fit your needs. You can call us at 570-286-5855, stop in our office on Market Street in Sunbury, or head to our website at purdyinsurance.com to find out what we can do for you.
Taking your calls at 800-795-9565. This is The Steve Jones Show on News Radio 1070 WKOK. Now, from the Sunbury Motor Studio, here's Steve Jones.
Today's show brought to you by our good friends at Purdy Insurance, Market Street in Sunbury. Go to purdyinsurance.com. Auto, home, life, business. The best. They'll also save you money. They'll do the best job they can for you insurance-wise. RVs, boats, motorcycles, right? I'm sure Matt has yacht insurance, I think. Yeah. Big-timers do.
S-U-I-T. That spells Suta.
And some people like him have summer home insurance. All right, we bring in Dave Cicchini. Lehigh coming up, noon, Saturday, Bethlehem. You played Yale tough. What do you bring out of that game after that one?
Well, I'll tell you what, we did some really good things. You know, we ran the football better than we have probably all year. You know, Rashawn Baker rushed for over 100 yards, had a nice 75-yard rush, longest play from scrimmage on the season. We did it against a very experienced Yale defense. So we did a great job stopping the run for 3/4 of the game on defense, and we forced 5 turnovers. So it was huge, big day in terms of takeaways. We didn't turn the ball over on offense, so there was a ton of positive things. We just went up against a very physical Yale team, veteran team, old team, and they wore us down in the fourth quarter, and really, you know, we lost that fourth quarter 13-0, and that was the difference in the game.
I mean, Dave, how tough has it been for you because of the way the personnel has played out, guys getting bumped up, so forth, to be creative on the fly like this?
Yeah, you know, it happens to most teams right about the midpoint of the season, right around where we're at, where, you know, you take stock in your team and guys are beat up, some guys are down, some guys are young players that are stepping up and getting more confidence as the season's going on. So, you know, every week is a chance to reevaluate the talent, the depth that you have on your team, and you're just doing your best to shuffle guys around, put your players in the best possible situations where they can experience success. And you know, I think, you know, not just us, but, you know, even teams that are having a lot of success, everybody's still dealing with injuries and you know, looking for guys, and this is where depth in your team really comes into play.
Yeah. And everybody has to, you're right, everybody does have to go through it. Brett Jackson's been named a Campbell Trophy semifinalist. And he'll tell us a little bit about his background and the kind of guy he is and the kind of player he is for you.
Yeah, tremendous football player. I wish I had 11 of them on defense. He's number one in the nation. He is a consummate team player. He is a leader, one of our captains. He's a very physical safety who's been playing through some pain. He's got a broken thumb, and he's just week in and week in steps up. He can't use that thumb. He still found a way to get his first interception on the season, despite not being able to use, you know, his hand basically immobile, but he was able to pull it into his body. So he is an emotional leader of our team, and his production has been off the charts.
Obviously, you want to be ready every single week, but tell us a little bit about the rivalry you have with Lehigh.
Yeah, I think, you know, it's our premier rivalry game for us. It's somebody that we always have circled on our calendar. We've had 3 really tough games that have come down to the final couple of minutes. The last 3 years that we've played them, we've won 2 of the 3, but they've all come down to the last 1 or 2 possessions of the football game. They're very, very physical contests. The coaching staffs are very familiar with each other. The style of offense and the style of defense are very familiar on both sides of the ball. So it just kind of adds to that rivalry. And you know, while we respect them, you know, they're a team that we want to beat.
Oh, you're going to respect anybody, Dave. You still want to win. You got to show up that day. You want to beat them. I'll hug you before the game. I'll hug you after the game. During the game, no. Yep. The only time I want to hug you during the game is throwing you to the ground. What about the ability to win a low-scoring game, which this could be? I mean, Lehigh's averaging only about 15, 16 points a game. What does it take in the mental toughness to win and create something in the fourth quarter when you have to?
Yeah, you know, it comes down to not just the fourth quarter, but you never know when that critical possession is going to be. When you're talking about a game that has a ton of possessions and is going to be a 42 to 45 game, you know, it's kind of like in basketball where you can survive a run where the other opposing team goes on a 10-0 run, but that's okay because you know at some point in the game, the game's going to go long enough. There's enough possessions that you have a chance to get, your turn to get your run in. Well, in a low-scoring game and a defensive affair, there's just not as many chances. So when you do get that opportunity to get the ball in your opponent's red zone. It might be, the first drive of the game. It's every bit as critical to get points on the board as it would be in that fourth quarter, because they're all important moments. You just never know which drive is going to be the one that matters, and everybody always focuses on that fourth quarter. But you got to get to the fourth quarter. You got to have a close game that's in the fourth quarter, and if you lose a game by 1 point or just one possession, you can look back and say, hey, you know what? If we would have been able to complete this drive, make this fourth down conversion in the second quarter, or convert, get a ball in the end zone, get a touchdown here as opposed to settling for a field goal. So all of those possessions, not just the fourth quarter, you got to treat them as gold, because you might not be down there more than 1 or 2 or 3 more times the rest of the football game.
There are 4 or 5 plays every game. It could be play 3, play 21, could be play 90. Nobody knows.
Absolutely.
Dave, thank you so much. Best of luck on Saturday. Appreciate you very much.
Sure, no problem. Thanks, Steve.
Dave Cicchini, Reuben Frank next as we continue on News Radio 1070 WKOK.
When car repairs get difficult.
Well, I just don't know.
Me neither.
We get good. Sunbury Motors. More than quality new and used cars, Sunbury Motors specializes in complicated auto repair diagnosis. They can handle intricate repairs and even complete auto body with service open Monday through Friday, 7 till 4. And Sunbury Motors has made simple repairs easy. Maintaining your vehicle is necessary. Finding the time to do it is difficult. Welcome to Sunbury Motors Quick Lane. Open 7 till 4, Monday through Friday. Just walk in or call ahead. Relax in their remodeled waiting room with Wi-Fi, beverages, and snacks, while Sunbury Motors factory-trained techs take care of your oil change, tire alignments, brakes, and inspections. Quick Lane, 6:30 to 6, Monday through Friday, Saturday, 6:30 till 2. Sunbury Motors, Ford and Hyundai, North 4th Street, Sunbury. And Sunbury Motors Kia, routes 11 and 15 in Hummel's Wharf. We take the out of auto repair.
Oh, we love Geisinger Gold, seriously. We really, really do.
Learn why so many people choose Geisinger Gold Medicare Advantage plans.
Geisinger Gold has given me peace of mind and feel healthy so I can spend more time with my grandkids and my family.
Find your Medicare Advantage plan at geisinger.org.
Geisinger Gold are HMO, PPO, and HMO D-SNP plans with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Geisinger Gold depends on contract renewal.
You're probably noticing more and more realtor signs popping up. Names you've never heard of or can't even pronounce. Who are these companies and where are they from? Hi, I'm Larry Johnson from the Bowen Agency Realtors. Bowen Agency is a name you know and trust. We've been around since 1971, and all of our agents are your neighbors and involved in the community. And we've been voted the best real estate agency in the Valley year after year. Whatever the reason you may be selling or buying your current home, please visit the Bowen Agency first. Our agents know this area well and have raised their families right here in our quaint towns, rolling landscapes, and the River Valley. We know the great folks in the area and are experts on meeting your needs. You'll find us in Selinsgrove, Lewisburg, and Sunbury, and online at bowenagency.com.
Coming or going, see the talent at Bowen. Bowen Agency Realtors.
What is that noise?
It's called practice.
Practice for what?
Work. I start work tomorrow.
Well, it's about time, but what kind of work is so noisy?
Come on. I got hired as an installer for Jake Benich Flooring. With day shift work, it's a perfect fit.
Jake Benich Flooring in Sunbury is hiring. Ready to put your hands to work and skills to use? With benefits after 90 days, we can't wait to work with you. Give us a call at 570-412-0506. That's 570-412-0506. Or find us on Facebook as JakeBenichFlooring.inc.
Dr. Travis Stork here to tell you about a great pain reliever called Salonpas Pain Relieving Patches. Salonpas is pain medicine in a patch. You stick it right on sore muscles for up to 8 hours. Clinical research has shown that people that used Salonpas reported less pain with improvement in mood, sleep, and the ability to work. Safe, effective relief is one peel in place away. Salonpas, it's good medicine.
Becco's new dishwashers use 1/3 the energy and half the water of U.S. standards for dishwashers. And from now until December 31st, you can save up to $200 in gift card rebates on eligible models. Visit Becco.com for more details.
Watkins in motion. Sanders on the run to the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Miles Sanders.
They're the best team in the NFC. And a good point is to look at the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings, very quietly, in case you have not noticed, are 5-1. Who's the one? And it was not only that, it was a dominating performance by Philadelphia. Do we have Rube?
We have him.
Okay, Reuben Frank joins us down in Philadelphia. Rube, how are you?
Doing well. Looking forward to the nice bye week here.
Yeah, exactly right. I'll split this in two because the city must be going just... This has to be one of the most joyous times of the city right now, isn't it? Between what the Phillies have done and the Eagles?
Yeah, it's pretty wild. You know, nothing like sports to really bring a city together, and the whole city's kind of euphoric right now with everything going on. You know, the Sixers are about to start. The Flyers won a couple games, so it's an exciting time. You don't get this very often.
So let's talk about the Eagles part of it. That was the game that was last night. Boy, Rube, that looked to be about as flawless a first half as I can think. You've watched them all season. How was it on your scale?
Yeah, it looked like they were going to blow them out, and after that first quarter, I mean, they really didn't do anything wrong. It was surprising to see them move the ball so easily against that Dallas defense, which is, I think, one of the best defenses in the league. So it was. And, you know, Dallas made some adjustments. Then the Eagles adjusted back and won the game. But it was look, you're not gonna beat a team like the Cowboys 40-6. So you knew it wasn't going to be that easy. But they certainly jumped on them, and that was big. And Dallas made it close, but never got over the hump, which was huge.
No, never did. And I thought that drive to really put it away that got them to 26, and that showed me a lot at that point because, you know, you've lost the momentum even though you're at home, and they were able to recapture that. What did that tell you? You try to learn certain things in certain moments. What did you learn about them there?
Well, honestly, I mean, they've been doing that all year. You know, I think it was the fourth time they've had a long fourth quarter ball control possession to kind of regain momentum, regain control of a game, and they can really lean on that running game. I think 10 of those 13 plays on that drive last night were running plays, and you know, then the last two were pass plays to get in the end zone. So I thought it was really a brilliant drive, and you know, you feel like, and you know, people talk about how few points they've scored overall in the second half, but you look at it, they haven't had that many possessions, because when you have like a 14-play 9-minute drive, and then there was a 13-play 10-minute drive. They had a 17-play fourth quarter drive. So you're not going to score as many points, but you're in a different part of the game where time is just as important as points. You know, if you can, you know, last week they ran down from 10.5 minutes to 1.5 minutes in Arizona with a drive at the field goal drive at the end of the game. So sometimes you want to strike quick, hurry up, and get as many points as you can as quickly as you can. But there's a point in the game where we just want to run clock and get this game over with, and I think they've shown that they're really good at that.
He went for two, though, up 26-17, and by not making it, it actually, in a roundabout way, brought losing into the equation. What was his explanation on that?
You know, if they lost the game, I'm sure he would have been asked that, but it didn't come up after the game. It didn't come up today. I don't know. It probably wasn't the right move at that point, but I'm sure he's got a reason. You know, they had the penalty, so they were a little closer. Yeah. I guess they are pretty unstoppable in 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. So I guess he just thought they could pop it in there, but as it turned out, it didn't hurt him.
When's the first time you saw that quarterback sneak style where everybody ducks in like that?
Yeah, it's something, and he's 13 out of 15. Jalen is on 3rd and 1, 4th and 1 this year, and you look at his legs. I mean, he's just so powerful, and he gets low. They all get low, and I don't know how you stop that. You know, because with that O-line, that interior of the O-line with Kelsey and those guards, I mean, they're going to get penetration, and Jalen's going to keep his legs moving, and I mean, it's really unstoppable, and it gives Nick a lot of flexibility on those 4th and shorts even when they're in their own territory, he'll go for it on the 38, the 42. It's a little risky, but the analytics say, you know what, your best shot to win the game is if you're aggressive like that. And man, you hold your breath, but they convert them every time.
But you know what? It's interesting about that, Rube, is that you always teach everybody the line, get low. It really is remarkable to watch a sideline shot of all of them getting low like that, including Hurts. I think it's a remarkable look.
Yeah, it's something they really work on because it's a big part of their game. I mean, I think it's a play that I think until recently, you just kind of lined up and went for it. But I think they've really tried to analyze what makes them effective, what makes you dangerous down in those situations, and really work hard on the technique of making that play.
As much as we're talking offense, they had 3 picks in last night's game. Teams will win championships on days where they really need their defense. When you look at this Eagles defense from Jonathan Gannon, what are you seeing?
Yeah, just what you said. I mean, their corners had 9 interceptions in 17 games last year, and they have 9 in 6 games this year.
Amazing.
It's incredible. They're plus 12 in turnover ratio. So they're just aggressive. They didn't have any sacks yesterday. I thought they pressured really well. Yeah. And Cooper Rush is a guy who hadn't thrown a pick all year, and they just made it really tough for him. He tried to rush some throws, and I think the one thing that kept Dallas in the game was that they didn't have to throw even when they got behind because they were having some success running the ball, and that's kind of this defense's Achilles heel. They're not great against the run, so they got to clean that up. But their D-backs are so aggressive and such playmakers, and just haven't seen that around here in a long time. And 3 picks. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson had 2, and in between he missed 17 snaps with a hand injury, and we're thinking he might have broken his hand, and he comes back out, guts it out, not only plays well, but gets his hands under that ball on the second interception. It was a great play, and I'll tell you what, this defense, they were last in the league in pass defense last year, and they're first this year. I don't know if that's ever happened. I could probably look it up. Probably take me all week, but it's remarkable how much they've changed as a secondary.
32-1 is a leap. So that's something else.
You can't do much better than that.
You can't do any better than that. I don't know if it was brought up. I didn't see Nick's press conference today, but I'm sure he was asked about the bye week. How does he want to approach it?
Yeah, what he likes to do is, the players will be in for the next. Yeah, I think they're in today and tomorrow, and then they'll be off till next week. But the coaches each get an assignment and like a little project that they'll work on. They're going to look at why they're not scoring as much in the second half. They're going to look at different. Like each coach gets an assignment to study one aspect of the way they played in the first 6 weeks, and so they'll do a lot of self-scouting, and even at 6-0, there's certainly a lot to improve on. They haven't played a complete game yet. They haven't played a 60-minute build up a lead, pour it on, and blow a team out. You don't get a lot of those. You don't get a lot of those in the NFL. It's more of a college thing, but I think they're really interested in doing a lot of self-scouting and figuring out how they can play even better the second half.
I know you had to move your schedule around to be with us. We are greatly appreciative of that, Rube. Thanks so much.
Oh, sure. Anytime. You got it.
You bet. Reuben Frank joining us from Philadelphia. Your guy. We're talking about your team. They are 6-0. They are, without question in my mind, the best team in the NFC. And obviously, without seeing them play Buffalo yet, there's something about Buffalo I like a little bit more, but that's just an eyeball thing.
I agree. I think if they don't face Buffalo in the regular season, but if they were to face Buffalo, I think there would be some matchups that would be very unfavorable for the Eagles. I hate to say it.
But you know what? It's a 17-game season plus the playoffs. Who do you have standing when you play each other?
Exactly.
I mean, that's a big part of it. That's why the bye week's good time for the Eagles. They're 1/3 of the way through the regular season, and it's very difficult to say who's played better. And good news, we got the Steelers and Dolphins on Sunday. All right. Sunday night.
Cool.
Hey, playoff baseball tonight. You'll be on the edge of your seat.
I will be, yes. I will not, and I will be fully ignoring Monday Night Football tonight.
What a pitching matchup tonight. Aaron Savali and Jameson Taillon. Exactly what I wanted to see in the deciding game.
Might as well put the Broncos offense in charge of the Yankees pitching.
Yeah, guess what? Bullpens win it tonight. Which one will be better? When it comes to car buying, there's the other guy's way, and then there's the SMC way. The other guys force you into a vehicle you really don't want. The Sunbury Motors way lets you take the time you need to browse, ask questions, and take the test drive and think on it. For over 100 years, the Mertz family and all their employees have made your experience the most pleasant one you'll ever have. The other guys won't offer you the best price for your trade, no matter how much they say they will. The SMC way is their promise to provide you with the most money the market shows your vehicle is worth. The SMC way is to offer you all applicable factory rebates on new vehicles and generous discounts. Looking for a pre-owned vehicle? The SMC way checks each vehicle in a 200-mile radius to determine the lowest price, then beat it. It's the lowest price promise, just part of the SMC way. The choice is up to you. The other guy's way or the SMC way. The SMC way wins every time. Sunbury Motors Company in the North 4th Street Auto Plaza, Sunbury, and at sunburymotors.com. Selling more cars and satisfying more customers for over 100 years.